You know what this woman actually said to me? Besides the, I wouldn't badmouth you and your mom, so why would you badmouth me? Yeah, but the key difference is, contractor, that my mom and I were not paid thousands upon thousands of dollars to do what is supposed to be nice, careful work on somebody else's home. On top of that, she also said to me, I swear to you, I can't make this shit up, I'm complaining about the shower doors, that they were installed incorrectly. No, she said, well, they weren't installed incorrectly, they can go either way. It's not wrong, it's just your preference. No, it's not. No, it's not just my preference. It's how it's supposed to be for minimal water to be able to go out and fly outside. Just because they can go either way doesn't mean they're supposed to go either way, okay? For example, I have a jar, you know I save all these jars, right? Well, I have found, to my delight or whatever, that sometimes I have another cover that even though it didn't go with that original jar, it actually will go on the jar, but it's not meant to, you know what I mean? It'll go tight enough that but it's not the cover that goes with the jar, you get it? Just because those doors can go either way doesn't mean your men were not careless. And she made excuses, oh, well, they're left-handed or they're tired or you get to the end of a job and you're tired. Yeah, and that is what concerns me. You can always be tired at the end of a job, at the end of a, you know, at the end of a week, at the end of a day. You have pressing things going on in your mind. You have health problems, any number of things, okay, that take up your, and that's just carelessness. It's carelessness, and it makes me feel like we were just insignificant to them, okay? Carelessness. The doors are supposed to go a certain way, that the water flow does not go straight through. It's supposed to be the other way around. And the interesting thing is, even when I was complaining about having to reach around for that outer door, when I didn't realize that it creates that gap, so it's always supposed to be the inner door that closes closest to where the water is coming from when you get in the shower, because it has to be that inner door, and then the outer door goes the other way, and then it creates that little barrier that, you know. So my initial complaint was from convenience, and one time I took a shower and I forgot. I'm so used to closing that inner door that and she had said, well, it's no big deal, just reach out to the other door, and that's when I didn't realize, okay, that it was that's obviously I was clueless until I helped my mom take a shower and sat there on the toilet to watch and see where water went and everything to make sure everything was okay. Alright? But so many people wouldn't even realize, my mom being among those people, that these have been installed incorrectly. That makes me so sad to think of what contractors get away with elderly people, mentally ill people who just don't realize. Because I'm smart and I pay attention to detail, I'm detail-oriented, and she even accused me, like, I've never had someone be so particular or detailed or whatever. What? That I want my doors to be the right way, just be, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, shoot me. I want my shower doors to be put on in the way they're supposed to be put on, even though technically they can't be put on the way you put them on, but she said it. They didn't do them wrong. They can be put on either way. And then when she's willing to come and fix all the things her men fucked up, I view you as a friend, you know, I'm going to do all this, you know, I don't view you, I view you as, yeah, whatever, and why would you badmouth, so I'm that's so classic, I'm badmouthing you if I tell the truth about you, I'm doing nothing but telling the truth, and I'm badmouthing her. And she, like I said, churchwoman said it's a red flag. She says if that plumber was licensed, she would give you his name. She wouldn't give me his name. He's probably not licensed. Churchwoman, it's a no-brainer that it's plumbing 101 is basically what she sarcastically said. She even gave an example of what she does for a living. I won't give an example, but I could use any example. if you don't know the basics, you're not going to do the big stuff if you don't know the basics. And installing a tub drain or a sink is like the basics. You know, make sure a sink doesn't leak, or correctly installing a tub drain. I'm not letting them off the hook. They're both going to be here, okay? And I told her outright, I don't want your men back here, the men who installed my shower doors incorrectly. But I think I said I was falsely accusing her guys of, I didn't know. I thought I know the plumber did plumbing. I didn't know the plumber also installed the tub drain and the sink and all the little faucet things and whatnot. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. A part of me is evil. Part of me is hoping that they can't easily fix the shower head situation, and they're forced to take off the panel and reinstall the grab bar and all that as punishment for not doing it right the first time around. You could say, why would you want that? They probably won't do it that day. They'd have to come back. I know. I know. Is your punishment worth punishing them? I don't know. I'm at the point where I'm just hysterically, I'm crying inside but laughing on the outside. Those were her words. I said, I would think your men would know, you know, you're professionally supposed to know how to correctly install a sliding shower door thing. And she goes, they do. And I said, but they did them incorrectly. Well, they're not wrong. They can go either way, those doors. I wouldn't badmouth you and your mom, so why would you badmouth me? You know, I'm willing to come back and fix all this stuff. It's not like I'm going anywhere. I kind of, you know, I view you as a friend now and not like a customer. You view me as a friend. I reveal personal shit. I have diarrhea of the mouth, but I always have. So has my mom. At least I don't do things that make me cringe in horror. Where she'll sit there and invite people to come to parties where we live, and you know, she's talking about where we live in front of total strangers on the bus. Among other things. Whatever, you know. I put us in danger when I do YouTube. She's put us in danger when she's invited the guy she meets inside of a mental hospital who's in there because he tried to kill himself or so. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. He's in there with her, and I have to welcome him into our home, and we know nothing. I mean, and I'm going to think, if you watched my videos back then, that he's after, you know, she has ulterior motives or whatever, but she's like, no, he has plenty, he does a real good job, Laura, he has plenty of money of his own, he just wants to help us, is when she wants to fight her sister, you know, so, apples and whatever, I put us in danger, she puts us in danger, what's the fucking difference, you know, like, it's looking like the guitar lesson thing's not going to happen. Because on top of, first he wanted $30 for a half hour, then he put it down to $20, but now he wants gas money to come here, and you know, it's like, I was like, forget it, like, I can't teach you how to play that fake thing. It actually is real. It was $50 at Target for $30, and it is a real, because I asked, I'm like, she says there's a guitar here for $50, this is before we all this everything, and is that true? And he's like, yeah, it really is a real guitar. It doesn't have every chord. I think it's 4 instead of 5 or whatever. I don't know. Well, I regret never learning how to play the guitar, if you want to know the truth. So you might think, why don't I try to learn that thing? Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I probably won't, though. If I was going to take guitar lessons and learn the guitar, I would buy a used real guitar, not that toy. But the toy I thought was an actual toy guitar. I'm like, do you guys really sell a real guitar? And they found it for me, and they're like, it is. It says it's a real acoustic guitar. It's not a toy, but it is for kids. Because when they said that it was in the toy department, my mom said it was a real guitar, and they're like, it is. It is. I wouldn't badmouth you and your mom. Why are you going to badmouth me? They didn't put the doors on. They didn't do it wrong. They can go either way, those doors. You get where I'm going, right? I've just got to laugh at this point. I got to fucking laugh. But anyway, I tend to have diarrhea of the mouth too, and when I had the thing with the grab bar misunderstanding, and I was so suspicious of them, again, we've been fucked over by her friend, the railing thing, me fucked over with the church guy in the door, and they were back to back practically, you know, they all, she looked right at me when I'm saying this, she's like, God, you don't trust anybody, someone must have done a real number on you. And that's when I said, yeah, I was in a long-time abusive relationship that nearly ended in my death and worse. You know, we were drinking one night, drunk. It was actually the night Obama got elected, and he shoved me away from him in a fit of rage, and I went, you know, I told the whole thing. Went flying backwards down the hill, smashed my head on the concrete below. Luckily, I didn't go over. I could have easily gone over something that would have led to, you know, traffic and whatever, and then I'd be dead. I wouldn't be here right now. That's a given. So, but I wasn't meant to die that night, even though I wished I had afterwards for a long time. So, apparently not. Otherwise, it would have been. Believe me, there's plenty of those things, low-railed things. You know, I don't like them. Pretty much I don't like them because I think about jumping off of them. So, but around here, there's none. I can go over highways and everything around here, and it's all sealed up, you know, really high, at least high enough. Around there, you can have highways down, and they have short little bridges this big. We could easily leap over it. We wouldn't even have difficulty. You know. But in this instance, it was one of those that he did. It was just we were up on a hill, and he shoved me away from him, and I lost my balance, went tumbling down, and the only reason I didn't end up a vegetable or paralyzed or who knows, but I went flying down the hill, and then instead of my head directly impacting the concrete, I used my hands instinctively to stop it. That's why I had those huge bruises, but my head, so it was from a lesser distance. My head still went bloop, and I blacked out and woke up to strangers, as you know, some of you know this story, but at least it wasn't a direct, far-away impact. I probably would have been dead, or just wishing I was dead. You know, in a physical condition where I know I would have wished I was dead. The physical scars were minimal. It's just a miracle. Guardian angel, I don't know. But the emotional scars, psychological, are for life. Did I tell her all that? No. I told her a little bit because she said, someone must have done a real number on you. You don't trust anything. You know, what made you think I would do your whole bathroom for all these weeks and put in extra stuff and extra work and then not put the grab bar up? Because I only go by what my eyes can see, and what I didn't hear from you is in we're coming back to do the grab bar. I mean, you know, so what am I supposed to think? You're right, I don't trust anybody. And if you don't make right with all this fucking shit, like you say you're going to do, if you say you're going to do it, but until she's actually here doing it, you know, she might give me excuses. You never know. In the end, she might not be able to get her plumber. You never know. You get it? It's just a nightmare. It's a nightmare that I needed to be over with before my mom's cataract surgery. So, like I said earlier, I'm going to get everything out of the living room. I'm just not going to have a bedroom. I have to have the rest of the place clean, and if my bedroom's a disaster area, as long as I can get in there and get on my computer, I just will never have Omar in there, you know. But, yeah, classic. Why would you badmouth me? You know, why are you badmouth me if you know, I wouldn't badmouth you and your mom. But if you're in a business and I'm unhappy and I'm telling the total truth in a review, that's not, quote, badmouthing you, unquote. That's telling the fucking truth. Get it? It's so ridiculous. I'm not gonna give you. I don't want you bad mouthing my plumber. I'm not gonna give you his name. I'm not gonna. He doesn't deserve to be bad. You know. All these words are telling. You know, there might be things I don't like about the church woman, most definitely. And I could even say to this contractor, you know, in ways I probably, you know, when I was telling her about the church woman was driving me nuts. And, you know, in some ways I might like you better than her. but I don't know you, and you know, and you think bad-mouthing is if someone tells the truth about what your people did, and you make light of it. The doors can go on either way. They didn't mess them up. Yeah, they did. They were careless. I got her to admit it. I wouldn't let her off the phone. I said, I need you to please admit that you guys were careless and messed up. But at first she wouldn't. She's like, oh, well, making excuses. Well, they're left-handed, and, you know, the doors can go on either way, but you're supposed to know that the water, you know what I mean? You're supposed to pay attention to that just because they can go on either way. And I'm sure there's lots of things in this life that will work, which is what I even put in my big thing I left on Home Depot. But I got my answer from Kurt, thank God, because nobody was answering me on Home Depot, so I don't want to read it. But it said, you know, just because they're working properly doesn't mean they're installed correctly. Get it? And she acts like, but if you want it changed, I'll change it. It works like that. It's not getting water on the... Yeah. But it's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be where it's minimal water thing. It's not supposed to be like that. And you weren't going to change it for me when I said it was a matter, I put this in my thing too, it was a matter of, first my contractor said, you know, that she wouldn't change it around when it's just a matter of convenience. When I said I'm used to reaching for the inner door that's closest to me and not reaching around, she said, well, just go and reach around. The fact is, she didn't even realize it. She didn't realize what was going on, you know what I mean? So, don't think for a second they're going to get any kind of good review. But in a review, I would say they at least were willing to make right everything that had gone wrong, that shouldn't have gone wrong in the first place, undeniably, okay? You know what I mean? But that's so classic. They didn't do them wrong. They didn't put them on wrong. They can go that way. They're working. For the record, no, I'm not drinking. Joe wants me to call him tonight. We're probably going to talk about Trump and the government shutdown, all that crap, but he's probably going to want to talk about all this crap. He has his own different kind of crap, because his crap was his contractor wouldn't even get back to him, wouldn't return his calls, and it was about something that they had done that they had fucked up. But then Joe wound up suing because his neighbor happened to know things about driveways and said they did a horrible job on your driveway, and then Joe didn't know any better. He had been bragging to me and sending me pictures of his wonderful new driveway, and it turned out, you know, on the surface it looks great. So on the surface, our brand new bathroom and my brand new closet, etc., looks great. How do we know if they were careless in the big, little things? How do we know they weren't careless in the big ones? We don't, and we never will. We never fucking will, and you know what I mean? We won't. We're going to hope for the best. That's all we can do at this point. Hope for the best.